TikTok is working. It's good. Good shit. Alright. Everything looks like it's working fine. Because last time I couldn't get TikTok to work and I had to go through this whole thing. But now it works. So we're chilling. And that's all that matters. Oh, that's so lame. Just gotta do a couple more things before I mess with stuff. Alright, that's fine. Alright, let's get into it. Alright, so there's already been a lot going on this morning, but we're gonna get in the first tornado warning of the day, which is in Nebraska. And this storm has already produced several tornadoes. They have been relatively weak, but nonetheless they have produced tornadoes. Most of them have been like landspouts or nothing crazy, but there has been several tornadoes at the same time too. Let's see if they can put a confirmed warning on this. Yeah, so there's also funnel clouds with this storm, so I don't think there's a tornado on the ground as of right now, but there has been funnel spotted. So if you're in Clarkson, Nebraska, I would definitely take shelter. Howells, Nebraska, I would get in your shelter, even though the storm is probably just going to pass just to the north of you. And this storm is moving northeast. Eventually it's going to make its way into Beamer, Nebraska. Will it hold its strength by then? Maybe. Who knows? Now, Lincoln, it depends, like Lincoln where? Which state? Because there's a lot of Lincolns. Now I'm going to move into the main risk area today, where there is a strong risk for tornadoes today over here. Oh, Lincoln, Nebraska. Hold on. Oh, I see it. Yeah. I mean, you're going to have some storms coming through, like, right now. That might have some pea-sized hail, but tornado threat is very, very low for you. So I wouldn't expect anything too crazy out of these storms. None of them are showing any kind of rotation. Probably about to get a gust front. You're probably getting the gust front right now, but maybe some pea-sized hail, but nothing too crazy. So you're probably good to go into work. These storms will actually probably be passed by the time you are going to work. So yeah. Anyways, getting into the main risk area here today, which will be over the majority of Iowa, central and eastern portions of Illinois, and northern portions of Missouri are in the gun for some strong tornadoes today. Right now, there's no tornado warnings in the risk area, which is good, but I think things are going to change as we go into the afternoon hours. Now, I can only stay live for like an hour and a half, because I do have to go to work, but I decided that I was going to stream today, because why not? Why not? Might as well do what I love before I go work at a job that I do not love at all. Right now, none of these storms are showing any signs of rotation. There's very broad rotation on each storm, which kind of just shows you that the atmosphere is primed for some tornadoes today. But nothing too crazy yet, which is good. So I'm kind of just going to be going back and forth between the Nebraska storms and the Iowa storms. And just giving you a rundown of what's going on per town. Now, mind you, I suck at pronouncing town names, so bear with me on that, but so the storm going into Fairfield, I gotta make sure I'm saying the right name, or right state name, Birmingham, Illinois. You should definitely be in shelter whether or not this is a tornado warning. You might get some big hail, maybe some quarter size, $half size, nothing too big, nothing too crazy. Well, obviously you shouldn't be outside watching the storm, ever. Now, these storms that are going into Illinois shouldn't be our tornado producers today. What's going to produce any kind of tornado are what's forming on the backside of these storms. Especially these ones. These ones have a mean look to them, like they want to do something. So like in this area, southern Iowa, I'd say, has the best chance of seeing some strong tornadoes today as these storms move up. Now, yesterday, I hope that we have like the similar thing that happened yesterday where we didn't see any tornadoes until like later on, when the lower level jet kicked in. And storms just could not like form because the environment was capped, but sadly this environment is probably not capped off, but the storms that went through, it might not give it enough time to like do anything crazy. Might have taken all the energy out of the atmosphere. That's the best case scenario. Now sadly, we got a little radar hole here, right in the risk area here. Nice big old radar hole, which sucks. I hate when there's a radar hole because it's harder to determine whether a storm is rotating or not on the surface. But yeah, let's check up on this tornado warned storm in Nebraska. I mean, this storm is probably going to produce more tornadoes and funnels, but nothing significant, which is good. Like this is like not even in the risk area at all. This is just cold core setup, typical. Which typically happens with any kind of system like this. But yeah, like there's no signs of any major rotation. There's like very broad rotation along the storm here, but nothing too crazy. So again, Clarkson, Nebraska, Howells, Nebraska. Make sure you can make sure you're in your safe spot. Whether or not this forms a strong tornado or not, you still want to be extra cautious. Extra cautious with any kind of tornado. I forgot to get water before I started streaming. I feel like that's the most important thing to get before I stream is water. Because my throat gets very dry really fast. What's this little guy doing? Now see, a storm forming here would be not good for Iowa. I need to see the evolution of that. Because this would have plenty of time to do its thing. Okay, this just formed. But yeah, you can see the progression of this low pressure system. Very powerful low. It's going to create some crazy winds on the backside, which is already wind picking up today. 50-mile-an-hour winds over here in the plains, open plains. Goes up to 60 miles an hour up there in Kansas, which just typically happens every storm. Got the powerful cold air, got the warm air coming up here. All the warm air stemming up, and you got the cold air coming on the backside, which is going to create some colder weather, especially in the eastern United States. So we got all this severe weather. You got kind of a battle zone right here between the cold and the warm. And you got a bunch of big warm sector. The severe weather is eventually going to move into Indiana, Ohio, and Michigan tomorrow. And that's looking like another tornado threat for them. But yeah, so you got all this cold air coming on the backside, while you got all that wind, lots of wind in this area. And that's going to put us kind of in a cold weather pattern for the next week or so. Especially for the Northeast and like everyone in the North. But eventually it's going to warm up. It's just going to take its sweet old time, which sucks because it's been really nice this week and then it's going to get cold. And I don't like that. But yeah, kind of watching these storms over here. Nothing's happened with them yet, which is good. It's what you want to see. There is some pretty strong winds here. definitely have some gusts up to 60 miles an hour with these storms. And this is in northern Missouri. Just outside of Kansas City. Kansas City, you got pretty lucky. These storms just missed you. So if you're in Kansas City, you were more than likely out of the risk for today, as storms just missed you. And as these storms mature and they move into the very northernmost of Missouri and into southern Iowa, they should start producing tornadoes, as the environment is very primed for that, especially today. I'm going to change something on TikTok really fast, because it's saying my category is gaming, and I don't think I can from my phone. That's kind of annoying. I guess I'm streaming from my PC, so it's not gonna let me. That sucks. Oh, I guess I can't change the category from gaming to something else, because it's definitely not a gaming stream. I can't remember what I was streaming for it to be a fucking gaming category. I don't think I've ever streamed a game off of TikTok before, especially on this account. Or maybe I have. Oh wait, I have. Never mind, I lied. I have streamed games off of TikTok before. I'm gonna go look at models. See what the models are saying. This looks like it's trying to do something. This storm matures. Definitely have to watch out for this one. So definitely watch out for this storm going over Coon Rapids, Iowa. Alright, I'm gonna go look here. Oh, I can see. I can change it from my desktop. Hold on. Can I edit it? I cannot edit it. That's so lame. Can't edit it from there. Hold on. I'm gonna go. Since nothing's happening, I guess I'll tell you guys the forecast. Since nothing crazy's happening right now. Models. Forecast loop. Look at the latest HRRR. Right, let's get you guys in here. Alright. Alright, so we're kind of going to go a little rundown of the latest HRRR. Now, I usually don't trust the HRRR after like 12Z, but this will kind of give you an idea of what's going to go on today in Iowa. So obviously we have the main storms right now, which is kind of what's going into Illinois and whatnot. But as you can see here, in the next hour or so, those storms that are forming in northern Missouri are going to push, I did not mean to go that fast, are going to go into southern Iowa. And yeah, let's see the dynamics of that storm here. Dynamics aren't crazy for this storm, but it does have a long track for rotation and whatnot. So we might, if we get one lone supercell here, we might be dealing with a couple of tornadoes here. Several tornadoes here, but I don't know if this right here is going to mess up the atmosphere at all. this could definitely mess with the atmosphere. But yeah, gonna run that again. But yeah, as these storms head into Illinois, they should weaken as the sun goes down, which is good. But they could have some either hail or damaging winds before they move into the Chicago area. So Chicago, I'd still be on the lookout later tonight. But yeah, this has several supercells forming. If you look at the NAM, this is an older model, but it kind of shows the same thing with a couple low top supercells there in southern Iowa and northern Missouri, and then they weaken as they go into Illinois. But then Illinois, tomorrow morning, you might have some new storms trying to form, and this will be tomorrow's threat for Ohio. So Michigan, especially southern Michigan, northern Ohio, eastern Ohio, and central Ohio, definitely be on the lookout, as there is some pretty crazy dynamics here for any kind of storm that take advantage of the atmosphere that we're going to have tomorrow, because it's going to be warm, it's going to be muggy, and yeah, I mean, the NAM's definitely probably overdoing it a little bit, but I would rather tell you guys the worst case scenario versus so you guys are prepared versus telling you what will probably happen. But yeah, nonetheless, there's a lot of Helicity tracks here. Alright, I'm going to take you guys back. See if anything has happened so far. If this storm can get its act together, this is definitely a storm to watch. There's definitely some rotation in the, let me look at the different radars, see if I can look at it at different heights. It's kind of, don't know if this storm is going to do much. It's not in a prime environment for tornado development, but it's by itself, and because it's by itself, it's definitely a storm we have to look at. Because if this stays by itself, then that's going to become a problem. This will definitely be, if it matures and it takes advantage of the shear that it's around, it'll definitely rotate. And this storm would be eventually heading into Fort Dodge, Iowa, Webster City, Iowa, Iowa Falls. Now, is it going to make it to Iowa Falls? Don't know, but it's definitely a chance. The HRRR was picking up, I think, on these storms down here for them to mature and produce a couple of tornadoes. Are they going to produce tornadoes? I hope not. Right now, everything's looking somewhat good. Nothing is throwing any major signs of anything crazy in terms of rotation, which is good. It's what you like to see. And hopefully that's the theme of today. I don't want these storms to produce any tornadoes. We're just heading into an environment that is rich for making storms rotate and whatnot. But yeah, let's look at the tornado warning over here in Nebraska. There's a new tornado warning. This is for, actually this is going into Iowa. See that rotation on that. So it is pretty, this is going right just next to, I can never pronounce that city name. Oh, that's horrible. I hate when I can't pronounce a city name because, like, obviously, it sucks. It sucks ass not being able to pronounce city names, especially if there's a tornado warning for it. But obviously, you can, if you can see your town name right here, like, you can get the idea, because I'm not gonna butcher the name at all. But yeah, there's some There's some definitely some broad rotation with this storm. Although on this radar image, it's unless it's anticyclonic, which means that the tornado is going to form on the backside of the storm, which is common with cold core setups. So yeah, so Psyox. I want to say Psyox, but it's probably not Psyox. We're gonna say Psyox City. It's definitely not how you pronounce it. Makes me want to get Google Translate out, or not Google Translate, but something to help me pronounce the damn name. Psyox City. North Psyox City is in the brim for that rotation. Psyox City, you're probably seeing some crazy wall cloud right now moving through town right now. Hearing the sirens blare. Definitely take that warning seriously. Although the rotation is very broad, these storms have been known to just drop tornadoes with very broad rotation. We'll watch the evolution of that. Okay, that's why the storm, the rotation at least is forming on the backside. Are you gonna make this move or not? No? Of course not. Why would it make it move? We'll look at the velocity then. You can kind of see the progression of that as it's not as strong as it once was. It was definitely stronger when it was north of Hubbard, Nebraska. But yeah, still take this warning seriously in case it does decide to drop a tornado. But yeah. Gonna switch over to Twitch. Oh, interesting. Alright. Nonetheless, there's some dime hail. Some dime-sized hail moving into town. So obviously don't be outside. You don't want to get hit with some hail. Although dime hail is pretty small, relatively small, not damaging hail, but... So this is very stretched, which is good. I would, because if this storm started to look like this, then you'd be worried, but it's more straight up. And that tells me that it's not in an environment prone for or at least a rotating updraft. And you can kind of see that over here. There's nothing too crazy happening. But I'm still going to watch this storm. Still going to watch it. Let's check in on these storms down here. This is like starting to get a look to it that I do not like. As I was talking about, there's a curve here. A little kidney bean. And you can see a little bit of inflow here. And you can kind of tell there's a very, very, very broad rotation with that storm. But you never want to see a kidney bean like this. This is like classic. And there's even kind of one right there inside of it, which kind of represents a cell merger. So this storm, definitely eyeballing it. This will be heading towards Centerview, Missouri. This is this is just outside of Kansas City. So like I said earlier, Kansas City, you just missed out. Just missed out on storms, which is good. Don't need any tornadoes around there. Highly populated area. You can kind of watch the evolution of this storm. See if it is starting to look like a mean storm. Oh yeah. I mean, it looks like it's struggling. It's been struggling for a while now. But it is definitely something to watch here. Because this storm is heading into a very primed environment for supercell development. Now over here, just north of St. Louis, your main threat's going to be hail with this storm going into Jonesburg, Missouri? I'm so Missouri, right? Yeah. Jonesburg, Missouri. Your main threat over here is going to be some hail. Nothing too crazy. I'm pretty sure this is warned for just, no, it's actually warned for $half size hail. So you gotta think, $half size hail is pretty large. Pretty large. So it might do some damage to your car. But it's not anything too significant, which is good. Man, I did not want to work today. I gotta be at work for a long time today. This storm, not showing any signs of rotation, which is good. Oh, we got a new tornado warning. What we got going on here? Oh yeah, look at that. Actually, I want to make sure. I guess I could have the fucking 4-panel. Forgot about that. Looking at this rotation here in Nebraska. This is just north of Maple Creek, Nebraska. Rotation is very broad, but these storms have a history of producing tornadoes with very broad rotation. So if you are in Dodge, Nebraska, I would definitely take cover. Maple Creek, I think you're just going to get lucky, but you are probably getting pounded with hail right now. Maybe some quarters, some $half size hail. But Dodge, Nebraska, make sure you're in your safe spot. Eventually this is going to work its way into Moultrie, Nebraska. But again, this is very broad rotation, which is good. Hopefully this does not produce a tornado. But this storm has already had a history of producing at least funnel clouds. And there was actually a couple tornadoes reported just north of Columbus, Nebraska. So nonetheless, you gotta be on the lookout, Dodge, because this is gonna either pass just south of town or go right through town. Let me check on that northern tornado warning. Oh, and another tornado warning here for Sioux City. I know I'm not saying that right, but see, I was looking at this earlier. This like top portion. Wait, which one's the closer radar? This is kind of like right in the middle. See if this is better. This might be a little further up. Ah, of course, contaminated. Alright. So, Sioux City, the storm has just passed you, so you should be good. But now this is heading into Hinton, Iowa. This just crossed the Nebraska-Iowa border and is heading into northwestern Iowa. So Hinton, definitely hit your, definitely get to your safe spot. This is kind of like a double rotating storm. Got more than one rotation, hence why there's two areas of rotation. Yeah, 3 tornado warnings over here. This is not even in the main risk area today, which is good that none of these storms have really matured into anything too significant. A couple of these have been trying to, but no cigar. I can't tell if this is rotating or it's just... or if it's just so weird. Nonetheless, be on the lookout here in northern Missouri. Let's check on this storm over here. See if it's doing anything yet. Nope, nothing too significant. So I didn't think our main focus today was going to be over here in Nebraska. I thought it was going to be Iowa. But I guess not. Weather has a fun way of doing crazy stuff. Now it looks like this rotation has definitely broadened it out a little bit, especially this part. But there is maybe some new development here on the back side of the storm. So Maple Creek, you may not be in the clear just yet. So definitely still be on the lookout for that. Alright, let's move up here. So the rotation that's occurring up here that is north of Sioux City is very broad. I don't think it's going to do much other than drop some pea-sized hail, which is good. But yeah. Well, I'm glad I got the TikTok working. Streaming on 3 different platforms. Getting it all figured out, one step at a time. I don't know why I'm tired. I got like plenty of sleep last night. Plenty of sleep.